6712 Joe Louis Drive, an address, a gym by the name of the Doghouse, has become synonymous with toughness, hard work, conditioning, mentoring, and the elevated standard of basketball expectations. From Torian Prince, Marcus King, Ty Dillard, and many more that have excelled, all in the sweatbox known as the Doghouse. John Collins, commonly referred to as JC, is known for demanding and setting high expectations of effort, discipline, and being a tough coach. Kevin Howell, commonly referred to as Country, the nice guy in the gym. Angel Benavides, the tactician of the trio. In these three men, you have a philosophical intertwining to bring the best instruction, culture of competition, and future leaders with the youth in San Antonio. Joe Louis Drive isn't for everyone, and that's okay. We're not fancy, but get results. If you 6712 Joe Louis Drive, you will know that you are in the right place when you hear the dogs barking. Hello everyone, and thanks for joining us at TAN TV, the African American Network, local feel, and a global reach. Today I want to introduce a good friend of mine, Isaiah Wyatt, originally from Ohio. He's got a basketball journey that I want him to share with you, and he's going to be a fixture here for a while with us. Isaiah, will you go ahead and talk about your journey, talk about where you're at now, where you started at, and the route that you took?
The route I took, well, I'm going to start there. The route I took wasn't no normal route. I know that there's not many people that have done that. And for me, going into college, from a very, high school that's, highly praised, it was definitely different. And I think, coming in my freshman year when I came to McLennan Community College, I was thinking, I'm like, man, I'm going to play. I got the grades to leave after 1 year because I was a qualifier. And, one thing I thought to myself was, would I be able to do it? And when I got there, it was a culture shock for me because everything was completely different from high school. From workouts in the morning to workouts, in the afternoons, and you getting your own work and stuff like that. So when I got there, I was like, man, okay, I'm gonna flourish. And it was a wake-up call because I ended up not playing. I was a 15 man, and so I was like, it kind of lit a fire under me even more because I was like, man, I don't want to go through this no more. So after that year, I ended up going into year two, and that was during COVID. COVID hit, so I had to find me another school. It took me a while. It took me some months. And mind you, because I didn't play. I didn't have a lot of film. So I went to Jacksonville Community College in East Texas, near Tyler. And that was another culture shock because now I'm going from a winning school to a losing school. And I ended up getting hurt before the season started. Some stuff happened during the year. We got an extra year of eligibility from the NCAA, so I said, I'm gonna leave. And so I left. I went to Southwest Christian College in Terrell, Texas, right next to Dallas. And that's where I had finished out and got my associate's degree. And my first year there, this is still year two. And this is the same school that I played my freshman year. They didn't win no games. I went from top of the food chain to the bottom of the food chain. And now I get to run the show. So now it's like, okay, you have no excuse because now you got everything that you need. Not everything you want, everything you need. So I said, man, I get to play 40 minutes. I get to shoot all the shots. I get to guard the best defender. I get to do all these things. So I go into year two. I have a great year. I averaged 18 and 8. I shot efficient. I shot 49% from the field and 43% from three, and I shot like 86% from the free throw line. So, I went runner-up player of the year, and this is, mind you, I was 15 man last year. I didn't play. So the year after I go runner-up player of the year, I knew I wasn't gonna win it because you're 15 man coming from one of the best schools. It's not gonna make sense. So I wanted to leave. I wanted to go Division-1. I heard from a couple Division-1s. Now, mind you, the school that I go to have no connections at all, none. We barely even have running water. So for me getting out of there, I had to do something special. So I heard from a few Division-1s. They weren't pulling because the seniors were coming back because they had an extra year. So I decided to go back. I thought about going D2, but I said, I'm gonna go back because now I really get to run the show. So I came back, had a better year. D2 called me, and they were calling me every day, every hour, every second. D1s was doing the flirting thing, and I don't do that. If you want me, you want me. If you don't, you don't. Let me know. I don't want to be stuck in limbo. So I said, I'm going to take the D2 in Nebraska. So I took the D2 in Nebraska in the RMAC, Shadron State.
Well, I just want to share one thing. You mentioned they called you every day. They wanted you. And so this was an instance where Isaiah went where he was wanted. And that's a key thing. Too many guys are trying to overreach, but go where you're wanted at, and people are more supportive because they're invested in you. But go ahead.
So they were calling me every second, every hour, so I took it because I was like, if I go to a D1, I can make it, but am I going to get the best experience from my career? Because you only have this small of a window. It's really smaller than that. And as athletes, we think, okay, this is going to last forever, and it doesn't. In college, it's a year-to-year contract. It's not a 4-year full ride, especially if you go to JUCO. So it's a year-to-year contract unless you got a name. And if you don't have a name, you already know what you have to do. So I went to my D2 school in the middle of nowhere in the Panhandle, Nebraska. I go out there. It's another coach.
Where was that school name?
Shadron State.
Okay.
So they're not really known for too much. They were losing school. The only thing they're known for is a running back named Danny Woodhead that went to
NFL,
New England Patriots. So he went to Shadron State. So I go out there. Everybody's kind of like, it's another year, we're going to lose. First 3 games we lose, first 4, I'm sorry. And then we go on a 10-game win streak. We clicked. I knew some of the players that came in, that were coming in, and, we clicked real fast. So we went on a 10-game win streak. We go 19-10, 19-9, I'm sorry. And best record in school history, broke records. I did my thing too. So I was like, you know what, I'm going to go, to the transfer portal because I was like, in today's game, everybody needs a person that can make shots, not just shoot, but make shots. And I already knew going into, the transfer portal, I knew I could do other things, but the thing that was going to stand out the most is my three-point percentage. So I shot like almost close to 200 threes. I shot 47% from 3, and I was taking like 6 a game. So that's a lot. So when I first got in the portal, I didn't hear too much. I heard from D1, same thing. So shout out to MJ Faust and Josh Robinson. Those are my 2 guys that were my teammates at Shadron State. They reposted me on the transfer portal, and they kept tagging the transfer portal. And finally, the transfer portal guy got a hold of me, reposted me. Now coaches were like, "Oh, we never seen him or heard of him. Like, where has he been?" Because they seen my stats. So then it went from D1s, interested to now they're very interested. Now I'm getting calls from all the D2s in the country, from the national champions to the worst of the worst. But I wanted to go Division-1, so now Division-1's calling me, all the D1s you can think of, except for your Dukes, your Kentuckys and stuff like that. But I had a school in the ACC, I had a couple schools, and it's funny because now I'm like, okay, now I got a free pick. I can choose from wherever I want to go. I'm from Hawaii, if I want to go to the East Coast, to West Coast, it don't matter. I had every school. But for me, I was like, you know what? I can do that. I can pick a school that that's a dream come true for any, kid or college kid, and to be able to do that. But I said, hey, let me come back to Texas, and UTSA called me twice. So I was like, okay, well, I heard they was going to the American Conference, and the conference tournament was in Fort Worth. I went to high school in Fort Worth, so I was like, man, all my people get to see me. And then I was thinking about after basketball, because now I'm like, okay, what if I'm driving or something like that, and I say, all right, well, let me go to San Antonio. I went to school in San Antonio. I got the resources now. So that's why I chose UTSA, and part of the reason why I chose UTSA. And then they told me to cancel a flight with another school, and I had to go there the next day. So I left to go to UTSA instead of the other school, and they offered me on spot, and I committed.
The importance of being in Texas, being in another major city outside of Dallas, Fort Worth area, to have a connection to. You have been working through rehab with UTSA and with us out at the Doghouse with JC. Talking about community, what has that Doghouse community added to the UTSA experience? What's that meant for you?
It's definitely been important for me because, you know, one thing I was looking for was more so, you know, a family-oriented, you know, type team. And, you know, that's the biggest thing for me because, like I said, I don't get caught up in brands, who's working with who. It doesn't matter if you're working with LeBron James. I don't care, you know, because at the end of the day is, do you have the best interest at heart for me? And the people that are around you. Do you treat people, you know, a certain way? Do you treat them all the same? You know, and at the end of the day, I know, well, you and JC, you know, you want guys that are committed and wanting to work, and that's what I understood, you know, going in, because going into JC's is always hot. It's about 104 degrees in there, and you know, you go from seeing from day one a lot of people, and then the next day it's only like 5 people. And for me, you know, I know that was different coming in because I was like, man, I'm used to it. You know, I'm used to playing outside. I'm used to doing my work, you know, in, you know, extreme conditions. So, you know, that was a big thing for me. And y'all opened, you know, y'all arms with welcoming arms. And, you know, I looked at that and I was like, man, I got to be here, you know. And whatever they ask me, I'm going to do. So that's why I'm even doing this interview now.
Yeah. You know, it's very interesting that it's mutually beneficial because you're able to be a role model for some of the guys that are aspiring to be where you're at right now, and for them to understand everybody's journey is a little bit different. But one thing, going back to you said there'll be a gym full of guys and then there'll be 5 the next day. We tell you up front that we're not for everybody, and that's okay because we're only 8% of people are going to make it to college in any way, shape, or form after high school. So the ones that come and work and the ones that come back and they're there, they excel. They excel because of the atmosphere. And JC's hard. He doesn't cuss anyone. At the end of the day, you know he loves you. And I'm the nice guy in the gym, if anybody's wondering.
Yeah, definitely.
But no, man, I really appreciate your time, your insight, and glad for you to be a part of this. And we've got till September, so we'll make the most of it.
It's definitely going to be a great experience for, you know, not for me, for everybody else, because it's like leaving a Cane Corso in a cage for a long period of time. And my thing is, it's like, man, you know, one thing I realized, you know, just playing basketball, I've always been like this from the day I was born, you know, just a competitor. I hated to lose. And my thing is, my work ethic didn't become what it was until when I got into college. But like I said, my competitive nature has always been out there. Like, I've always wanted to take your head off. It don't matter who it is, and I want to let you know how bad you are.
Yeah.
And I think just like touching up on, you know, you go from 50 people to 5 people the next day, and then you realize, like, you know, everybody says they want to dream or they want to do something, but then when it's time to put in the work, and my slogan that I always say, you know, everybody wants a dream. You know, the dream is free. The work costs.
Yes.
And people don't understand that. No, I take it back. They do understand that.
Yeah.
But they realize that, okay, I got to do this every day. Yeah. You know, and I tell people, that do make excuses and like, you know, that's just you. You know, I don't want to do these things either. But
yeah.
You know, I understand. Don't get it twisted. I love doing it, but in the midst, I don't enjoy it. I don't enjoy it because who wants to sit in 104-degree heat running 2 miles? Nobody wants to do that. So, and at the end of the day, I know that's going to get me to where I need to go. And you appreciate it more when you work for something, and it's not just giving. And in this generation, my age, it's very easy to become to where you want to go because everybody's mentally weak.
Yeah.
And you can't really just tell them directly. You gotta go in and out and figure out ways. Okay, it's okay. You don't have to do this. You can sit out here. You can do that. And now, when you get in a game or you get into a workout where you have to play against me, and you like, oh man, he's ripping my head off, and then he's talking to my parents in the stands. Like, that's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, not only that, I want to beat you, and I do this as a caring way too, and just in the midst of it, I really want to beat you, but I just want to let you know, like, hey, this is what you see, this is what you want to do. Now I'm giving it to you. You can take this one or two ways. He's being mean, or he's trying to help me. Because now when I come back to him, I don't want to lose to him the same way. Yeah. And as I tell kids that's younger than me, a few years younger than me, like, yeah, it's okay. You beating up on the guys that that you're playing against now, but one day you're gonna have to play me. If God says the same, you're gonna have to play me.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna take it easy on you. And I'm telling you that before it gets to there.
Yeah.
So just to say that, it's just like I just want people to understand, like, the route I took. I know it's not easy, and my thing is I don't try to make it a struggle thing, but it's a journey. Because like you said, if you don't use it, it'll use you. It's one or the other.
Yep.
So as I tell kids now, or young adults, hey, you only got this small window. So whatever you're doing outside the court, and he can tell you, like, before I even start shooting, before I start warming up, I'm getting me a yoga mat. I'm getting me some blocks where I can stretch my legs, and I can get warm, because I already know those are the things that's gonna, activate my muscles and keep me away from injuries. Just the little things that people don't want to spend time to. And 12 minutes, it's only 12 minutes. It go by so quick like that.
It's funny, man. That's what pros do. I mean, it really is. But, man, I just wanted to have the opportunity for people to hear your story, to hear your background. And I'm just excited, man. I really am. We're going to close it here. This is Kevin Howell, Isaiah Wyatt, at the One-Eyed Scout. We're excited to be part of the African American Network. That's a local field with a global reach. Thank you.